All right. Hey, hi, parents. This is Coach John here from Learning Out of the Box. And today we have a special guest, and his name is Fish Tang. Hello, Fish Tang.
Hi, John. Nice to be
Yeah,
here.
thanks for being here, even though you have a very busy schedule. Okay, so let me just do a quick intro. Fish Tang is a swim school owner as well as he's an open water swimmer, triathlon, and open water swim coach. And today he's going to share with us more about character building through open water swimming. Okay, so could you share with us like your backstory, like how you end up doing what you love doing today?
Okay, so basically, I started teaching at the age of 16.
Wow.
And that time I was the youngest certified coach in Singapore.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, I never expect myself to be in the career of teaching swimming as a full-time business. It
Mm-hmm.
all started because I love to work with kids, and I don't like a desk bound job.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started helping my coach to teach and as an assistant at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So it all gets quite well, and I sort of like the work and the working hours. It's not very long. It's not very maintained and routine. So
Mm-hmm.
I sort of like get more information on how can I learn more about coaching. And at that time, when you talk about coaching swimming, people will usually relate you to uh, lifeguards, uh, because they think that all lifeguards are swimming coaches, which is not true. And then uh, people, there's not a lot of full-time coaches or swim school owner at that time when I get started.
Yep.
So first thing is my parents are like very against it. Can we get you study so hard, spend so much money for studying, and then you end up go under the sun, teach. They equate us with staying in the office in a white collar job is what is a good job, a good career is all about. But and going outside, go under the sun is something that if you have no choice, then you have to do that. So that's traditional parents thinking,
Mm.
and that's how they are pretty against it. But after they find that I work shorter hours effectively in teaching, but after that, of course, before and after teaching, I got things to work on, and I my income never dropped, uh, and I earn higher than what my peers is, and they started to have a different view. And
Mm-hmm.
ever since I have the opportunity to start to travel around the region, or I would say around the world, and then the rest is history. They never start to make noise anymore,
Mm-hmm.
because swimming coaching had brought me around the world. Have even brought me to work with the ex-president of Taiwan. It had brought me and opened a lot of doors for me. Uh, I would say, if you let me choose again, I would not regret it. So it totally, literally changed my life.
Mm-hmm. And and you mentioned that yeah, you work with kids. So what are some of the is essential traits that a kid need to be able to swim in the open water? And why I ask it is because I think for myself I never swim in the open sea before, and to me I think it's a scary thing. Yeah. So what are some of the the essential traits that you think is important, or how do you set a child up to be ready for that?
Okay, good questions. And I think that is also the same question that a lot of parents who is watching this we're going to ask, because usually parents that send their kids to us, they're not very good swimmers. So don't talk about going to the open water. And they might soak their legs on the around the beaches, and then that's about it, and playing with
Yeah.
the sand. So they say, well, is it dangerous? Uh, are you sure that my kid can do it? This is like the common question they're going to bring it out. First thing is, uh, I strongly believe in open water because I get my son into the open water when he's like 2,
Wow.
and then now this year he's 6. He did his first open water event this January when he was 5, the youngest in the whole of the 300 people. And why I strongly believe that so much, because first thing is, in open water you can build a lot of self-confidence, which I think is a very critical aspect into building a kid's character. If you are not confident about yourself, the way how you present to your future boss, or when you go for an interview, it will affect whether you get a job or not. And when you actually start to meet friends and all that, if you are not self-confident, then I think it shows quite a lot when you actually start to communicate with them. And then when you actually are going to do a public speaking presentation, right? And usually they got a lot of project work when they study, and then they need to do presentation, and that will affect them a lot if they're not self-confident. Right? And in open water, it's a lot of unknown, right? Because especially in Singapore open water, you can't see what's the bottom. The visibility is not that clear. So a lot of kids are very afraid. And when they are very afraid, it's like life. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. In times of uncertainty like that, in the pandemic, now we are in the pandemic, and a lot of things are even more uncertain compared to when we are in the past. So things are always changing, and then if you're not self-confident, you're not confident about yourself, then you sort of like being paralyzed, and you don't dare to take action, and that will affect your end result, what we're going to achieve in life or in the school studies. And with open water swimming, because there's a lot of salty water, that's where the kids don't really like it. And then when you meet challenges, the first thing is, especially kids in this era, will actually tend to give up easier because they never go through hardship. I think with that things that they don't like, and they still need to overcome it so that they achieve the objective that they have set out. I think that's very crucial in the character building part, so that they can achieve good results or good studies or eventually in life. And another thing that is very, very important is endurance sports like open water swimming, as they know how to swim and they're confident to swim on their own already. When we work on endurance sports like the triathlon or open water swimming, being disciplined is one of the very, very important traits of all successful person, whether it's an entrepreneur, whether you want to be successful in your career or your studies or whatever thing. Without discipline, it's almost impossible to actually achieve the goals that you set. Right? So that become a very good training ground to be disciplined, and to start working on the goals that you have set up, and then we bring the milestone slowly, a little bit by a little bit, until they can achieve. So those are some of the characteristics between open water swimming and the pool swimming.
Yeah. Just curious, because I know that as a parent, what we do today is also impacted by our growing up years. Yeah. So how was it like for you as you're growing up, and could you share with us like how it impacted you to decide to go into these sports and commit more to it?
Oh yeah, I think very true also, because the first thing is I'm very fortunate to be exposed to open water swimming, scuba diving, and all that. And all the while, I would say if you think about my traditional family, my parents can't swim. My sibling can't swim. I was the only one who can swim, and I was the only one who go into the swim industry. So it's a total different from my upbringing. I think that is a big turning point is where I was being admitted to Outram Secondary, that where there's a swimming pool. Is the only neighborhood school that have the swimming pool on its own, and that's where I started to be involved in water polo, because the school is strong in water polo. And then eventually I get interested with some multi sports, because I cycle to school at that time, and then I'm in the track and field team. So basically, out of the 7 CCA, I got like 5 in the school team. So I like different things. I want to experiment new things, and open water swimming is part of triathlon, and I got involved in triathlon because I got a client who started to do triathlon, and triathlon was a new thing during the 1990s. So when you talk to people what's triathlon, people don't really know, and that's where I got more involved in the triathlon, because the client needs to do open water swimming, and that's where I started to swim more open water and then get exposed to it. And the more I get into open water, I sort of like enjoy it, and because the challenge that I got from open water swimming, especially for myself, is marathon swimming. I find
Mm.
that going through a marathon swim, for those who to set the context, marathon swim is 10 kilometers in the sea. That's marathon swimming. So the time taken is around 4 hours for a decent marathon swimmer, equivalent to running a marathon on land. Right? That's why, and then it's like going through life once.
Mm.
When you set up that whole goal that you wanted to complete a marathon swim, you went through goal setting. You need a proper system to actually train for it. You need a right mentor, and you need the right support network in order to achieve that big goal of 10K. For a layman, it's considered a very big goal. And
Mm.
with that, you can use that the same metaphor of the right mindset, the right mentor, the right system, and the right network to apply into your any success in you want to achieve in life. That's why and that's why I like about marathon swimming a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, and you shared that you actually got your child to start off at the age of 2. Yeah. So
Yep.
how was it like for you? Do you still remember like the first day when you put him in the water, and how was his response?
Oh, in fact, he started at 4 days old.
Oh, sorry, 4 days old. Yeah, here 4 days.
Open water was 2 years old. I bring him to open water when he's two. And he don't like the open water basically, and he was not very comfortable with the waves. And we do very simple things like walking into the water. He wear a life vest and walk into the water, and then slowly just get used to the wave, and then putting the face in the water, getting used to the salt. So it's not rocket science or doing very difficult things when they're young, and it's basically getting them used to the environment, and then and start playing in the water. Start playing like floating, put the head. Once their face can go in the water, then floating around. Uh, and get them slowly longer and longer in the water. And I think the biggest difference is the environment makes a lot of difference. If I have a group of kids that's similar of their age, and then everybody do together, then they will follow. And then it's easier to get them be interested, and then you start playing games in the water, and then you start having internal challenge with the kids among their peers. And then my son is very competitive, so he always wanted to win. No matter what he do, he wanted to win. And then that's where we can set so small races within the group, and that's where he's willing to do it. He still don't really like the salt, uh, and I just leave it, and just bring him there often, and then get eventually it's about swimming in deep water in the
Mm-hmm.
pool. If the kids is not comfortable with it, there's two response from the parents.
Mm-hmm.
One is don't let him do it, or the next thing is slowly get him used to it and then help him to overcome it. So come back to life, the same thing. If your kid face a challenge, either you just shoo away from the challenge, or you find methods to help him to overcome it, so that he gets stronger and better, so that the problem or the challenge is not an issue. So it's a choice of the parents. Because a lot of parents, when the kids don't like it, then they will just say, "Never mind." Then if you don't like it, then because during when they are young, parents is a key thing to decide what they are going to do.
Mm-hmm.
And usually kids will not like things that is difficult. I
Yep.
don't. As a teacher yourself, they always like things that they can do, and they always don't like things that they cannot do.
Mm.
Uh, that's quite normal. That's human nature.
Yep.
So when you can't do certain things and you're not very good at it, then you don't like it. But I always remember one of the saying, one of the teaching from my mentor is every master is
Mm-hmm.
once a novice, or every master is once a disaster. And so when you're not good with it, of course you'll not be very good. Of course you don't like it. But the more you do on certain things, then the more you get familiar and you get a hang and you get the in and out of how to do it well. And then slowly you will be better. And when you are better, then you will start to like the things that you used to don't like because you're no good at it. Yep.
Yeah. So let's say if a child comes to you, and or a parents first come to you, and and they ask, hey, Tang, I need your help to train my kid, and my kid is very new to this. So how will you train the child or start to train?
Okay, so first thing is I would never bring a kid to open water if they're not comfortable in the deep water in the pool. So that's the prerequisite.
Yes.
So they must be comfortable. They don't need to be able to swim. In fact, there's different levels. As long as the group standard is the same, they don't need to be able to swim in order to go to the sea at the for their first session. Right. So that's quite a counterintuitive style of thing. Because my son still cannot swim when he's two. He only can float. He
Yep.
don't know how to take air on his own when he's two. He only start to be able to swim at around 3+. So once they can float, you can do similar things that what they can do in the deep water in the pool, and replicate that in the shallow part of the beach. Because and don't set so high expectation for the first few sessions. Because what your expectation will affect the emotions of the kids, and then when you're angry and all that, then they'll feel very stressful when they go out and they start to don't like the environment. Just treat it like play. No kids will say I don't like playing. Most of the kids will like to play, and then it's up to your imagination to set up the games and the things that is interesting to your kid. Every kid is slightly different, so you must understand what is the carrot for the kid. So you must know what is the kid likes and what's the kid don't like, and then you can set it out based on that. And then that is the incentive for them to do certain things that will start to push their limits. So this is how going to the pool, once they are comfortable with the pool, the only difference between the deep water and the sea is the salt, the current, and the wave. And then the fear of the unknown they can't see. Other than that, it's the same.
Yeah. Have you met any incident that like, okay, the parents want the child to do these sports because they believe in the sports, and of course they also believe that you can be a good teacher to their children. Yeah, but when you talk to the kid actually doesn't want it. So how do you manage this kind of situation?
Okay. Doesn't want it as in they doesn't want.
They're not very keen. They're
to.
not very interested, but they say that they have no choice because they're parents. And I think being a parent myself and having talked to so many parents across the years, we have seen or we have heard kids telling us that, oh, and I came here because my mommy wants me to come.
Okay. I think that's a quite a good question, and that's a common question that I think most parents will encounter. If usually the kid will not like it initially, especially the reason being they don't like the sand, they don't like the salt and all that, including my own kid. I would say first thing is find out the carrot. What is the carrot? And then I would say design games that they can do and they can do well in the water or near the beaches. You must find out what they don't like first. Then we can actually design based on that. The first thing is whether they don't like the sand, whether they don't like the salt water, or whether they are scared of the waves. And then from there, you can design a solution to that. So if they don't like the sand, then first thing is like you find out why they don't like the sand. Is it because it's not comfortable walking on that? And it hurts sometimes. So then let them get used to it, and then let them play like building sandcastle in the beach and doing things, but don't do it alone, because when they play they'll forget all these things already. So get a few of their friends that they enjoy playing with, and then start doing that, and then after that and extend the time in the sea longer a little bit. So I would say if you can show me this, then we'll go to the things that they want to do. So I will set like 5 minutes to 10 minutes of certain things, and then as they get better with the things, they will start to like it more. Then I will spend the water time more, and then I will not just try to do distances in the very early stage. I'll just ask them to be able to do like playing with like who can who can actually hold their breath longest
Mm-hmm.
without holding me, and then they will float and once they can do it and they achieve small little milestone and success, celebrate that success.
Mm-hmm.
And because once they celebrate their own success, especially kids, not my own kid, when I teach other kids, then when you celebrate them the success and then ask them to show their own parents. And
Mm.
that's a very crucial thing because when they can do well, they actually want to show it in front of their parents that they actually can do it well. And in fact, in the pool, it's the same. When they can do certain things that they used to be not able to do it, and they wanted to show their parents. So I will ask them to actually, you ask your mommy to take a look and then ask them to demonstrate and show it in front of their parents. And
Mm.
then when the parents say good from their own parents, that makes a huge difference in their own self-confidence and they really enjoy it.
Mm.
And then they wanted to do it more and show their parents.
Mm.
So how you add to their small success is very, very crucial.
Mm.
It might be small success to you, like think wow, it's like, but it means a lot of things to the especially to the younger kids.
Mm.
And that's where when they see the satisfaction that you will really celebrate their success, and then that changes the whole thing. And then they wanted to do it more, and then do it more, they can do it better. When they can
Mm.
do it better, of course they will enjoy it more.
Mm. Great, great. Yeah, and I also believe what you are said, because I think that kids need to taste the small successes first, then they feel confidence, and then it builds up and it will spill over not just to sports, but also to how they behave at home, how they perform in school, and in fact, it will really impact his whole life. Yeah.
I believe is to actually set clear small milestone for them,
Mm, mm, mm.
and then uh, once they reach the milestone, celebrate the success. Because some kids they are not very good at setting their own milestone,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's the parents to actually set the milestone, and then when they reach the milestone, celebrate the success, and that is very very important to me. That's why recently my son signed up for a virtual swim,
Oh,
and he's the one who told me he wanted to do it. I said, "Are you sure? Maybe they are too young and ignorant. They don't know how long is that distance."
mm-hmm.
Okay, so that virtual swim is 20 kilometers in 10 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
20K in 10 weeks to him as a 6-year-old boy is a lot. I said, "Are you sure you wanted to do it?" And he said, "Yes." And then after that, then you wanted to do that, then you must commit because I don't want him to swim too long at one session. Then you must be going to the pool 4 times a week. Are you all right with 4 times a week in the pool? And
Mm.
he said, okay. And then so that every time he swim 500 meters. So we break it down into smaller chunks for him. And then usually when he go into the pool, he want to play with me rather than swim.
Mm.
So now he got a thing. He got a very clear goal. He need to finish this off before we can start playing. So he'll do his uh, laps, and when he's doing his laps, then that's where I use that opportunity to actually correct his strokes and all that. And after that, then we just throw away the learning part and the technical part, and then we don't care about how is it, and we start playing. So he enjoys playing with that to his terms. And so he designed the games, he designed the what he wanted to play once he has achieved what we have both agreed on.
Mm.
So in that, so far this is the second week, and so we are still doing all right, and we are still on track. So and that's a big thing because 10 weeks is long. And a lot of kids will give up halfway. So you make sure that they really want it, right?
Mm.
You want it. But how to make sure that they want it, right? You want it, then we need to set that uh, properly so that it's coming up from their own mouth rather than you
Mm.
said just do it. Yeah. So that is a little bit of planning to be done.
Mm. And I love the parts that you shared. You make sure that they commit to it and it's coming from them and not from you.
Yeah, because if coming from me, that is very tiring. Because I always got to push them.
Mm.
But it's coming from them and they decided and you double confirm that it's really what they wanted, uh, then the whole process become a lot more easier. And then it's become more sustainable.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And the reason why I raise this up is because sometimes when we talk to the kids in the classroom, and we ask what are the grades that they want, and they say, oh, I want to get an A for my maths, for example. And then when I further probe them, so how did you come up with the A grades as a milestone or as a goal? Or then many kids will say that, oh, because my mommy wants it, or my daddy wants the A star. Yeah. So I'm so glad to hear from you that, oh, as a father, you are making sure that your child commits to the goal when he has decided that this is for himself and it's not coming from the parents.
They must know why they wanted it. I think the why behind why they wanted it is very important.
Mm.
And once they find out and have clarity about why they want it,
Mm-hmm.
and then they also must know another thing is how they how to achieve that. Right? They must be able to break it down into small pieces that they can achieve, and then they check back. Hey, actually, it's achievable. It's not that big.
Mm.
So you bring it down into, and then they must commit to the actions needed to take in order to achieve their goal that they set.
Mm.
Yeah, there's a lot of kids just say, I wanted this, I wanted that, but they're not willing to put in the work. That's where, or they don't know what work needed to be done uh, in order to achieve the goals.
Yeah.
So you need to help them to break it down and then see. Actually, it's not that difficult.
Mm.
Putting everything together is difficult, but you break it down into consistent, small little parts. It's not that difficult. And if their goals are too big and they find that it's difficult, set a smaller goal first.
Mm.
Uh, Tell them that it doesn't really matter whether your daddy want an A or an A star or whatever. If you wanted a B or a C, where they are D now, then after that, when they set a B, and then you break down into the small little things that they need to do in order to get a B, and then they find that, hey, it's actually a doable. It's okay. Let them achieve a B first. Because don't jump from a D straight away to an A. Of course, they can't see. It's too big and it's too far away. And once they actually can reach the B, then when you start talking to them and reset the goals, they can see more possibility. And then they wanted it themselves rather than now the parents, because they know that they can do it rather than it's some very far away goal that they cannot even do it. Of course, they will not take the necessary action because it's far from their possibility. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. I was looking through your Facebook. I think I saw your kid. Is his name Billy's?
Yep, believe. Yep.
Yes, yes. Is it okay? I can show his photo in
Oh,
this
sure.
sharing.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. How old is he now?
He just turned 6 in August.
Wow, so young. Yeah. And this is him. Wow. And he's fully equipped in his swimming gear.
Yeah, usually this was in Republic of Singapore Yacht Club, and we do. Usually my sessions revolve around before my lessons or after my lessons,
Mm-hmm.
and then and it also takes the whole family commitment for him to do that 4 sessions a week, because although I was in the pool I'm in the pool every single day, but spending time with him and make sure that he does it is not as easy.
Mm-hmm.
And my wife got to take over to make sure that he do his routines while I'm coaching. Because sometimes I finish very late and then the pool already closed, so I wouldn't be able to monitor that. So I
Mm-hmm.
give assignment to my wife, and then she took over to monitor and make sure that they are doing certain things that I wanted them to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Wow.
actually, this is not his time.
Oh, I
This is
thought it's his
like
time now.
okay. This is like this is my time. We are doing it together, so that's like his time was
Wow.
like 30 over minutes. Yeah, and the type of thing. Yeah,
But for
yeah,
500 meters is actually quite a lot. As in really good.
yeah. For 500 meters, it's quite long for a small kid. He he just able to swim. I think I'm using this rather than just pushing the distance. I'm using this to actually work on his stroke that he's not very good on.
Yeah.
So he's stronger in breaststroke because that's the first stroke he learned. So he will actually do 10 laps, which is 25-meter pool. He will actually do a 10 lap, 250-meter pool. And then on breaststroke first, then we'll use the remaining 10 laps to work on his freestyle and the different aspect of his freestyle before we take away the snorkel and then he starts working on it. So basically, that distance is actually used to work on his weaker points. And then we start working on that. So it's sort of like not just to clock the distance, it's an avenue for him to work on things that he's not very good at, and so that he use that distance to ingrain muscle memory.
Yeah. And I like the part that you break it down for children. Like I caught a word like he's not very good in this, so you spend this segment of the practice on this aspect, and because you mentioned that he's more he's better in breaststroke, right?
Breaststroke, yeah.
Yeah. So you want to work on his freestyle, but I also caught words like it's not like the whole practice is on the freestyle, but you want to improve on different segments. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's a very natural thing. Kids will like to do things that they are very good at. So as parents or as coaches, you know that which are the things that they need to work on to continue to improve, which are things that they need a lot more work so that they will be as good as what the good strokes is, because you need to spend time on it. Even adults don't like to spend time on things that they're not good at. And then when you ask them, do you practice? Yes, I practice, but they practice the things that actually don't need that much practice. Which because they are really pretty good at certain things. So you need to allocate the time properly so that they can achieve. Yeah.
Great. Yeah. So just before we end off, I also want to quickly ask you about when a kid comes in and you are very new to the child and the child is very new to you. Yeah. So how do you help him to process the why, as well as how do you help the child to break down his goal into different milestones?
Okay. How to process the why is like when you're gonna ask them what when they do certain things, what do they want to see after they achieve that goal. Like my son, take my son as a good example, because that's how I work with him.
Sure.
He has done a few events, and that few events only usually they give a finisher medal. And when he saw my trophies, he wanted that trophies. Because he have got the medal and he wanted the trophies. So, and then you gotta ask him, find out why he wanted the trophies. And one of the reasons he gives is because I have enough medals. I've never have a chance to get my own trophies, and all the trophies at home is yours, not mine. He said he wanted to win his own trophies.
Wow.
And then you slowly ask him why he wanted the trophies. And slowly you find out that he actually enjoys attention, enjoy the place and the people. So in fact, he have his own YouTube channel. He wanted he enjoys in front of the limelight. That's what he likes. So he always ask us to help him to shoot certain videos that he wanted to upload to the YouTube. And he has some I should say idol that he there's a Ryan channel that he follow whatever Ryan likes, he likes. And he don't speak local Singapore English. He got this American accent because I always say that he actually studied from YouTube University. He studied YouTube International School. That's where he learns most of his things, from YouTube. And that's why he enjoys being in the limelight. That's why he liked the success feeling. He liked the winning feeling sensation. So that's his biggest why. And with that, that become a bait that you can use to design things. If you want this, you got to tell him, and he got to understand that nothing comes for free. You need to put in. That's a cause and effect. And you want the effect of being in the limelight. You like the winning sensation. You need to put in something in order to get some returns. And that something is where you need to put in the hard work on certain things. And what is the hard work? You tell him this is needed to be done, and then based on logical progression, you break it down into bite sizes so that it's easily achievable.
Mm-hmm.
You don't break it down. You want them to have some challenge, but you don't want to break it down into something that is too difficult that they will get demoralized. It's like almost an impossible dream. You want to make sure that they must put in a bit of effort in order to achieve that,
Mm-hmm.
but not say that they do their best and then out 10 times and 9.5 times they cannot achieve. Even adults will give up.
Mm-hmm.
So that's very, very important. So that when they achieve that, they know that if I put in a little bit more effort, I can achieve things that looks difficult to me in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can push that barrel, that benchmark a little bit harder and harder. And then they are more willing to push it a little bit harder on their own.
Mm-hmm.
So it's actually progression. Gradual progress is one of the key, and consistency is the key to success. Seriously, and in order to have consistency, you need discipline,
Mm.
and nothing can achieve without discipline. And then and with discipline, you need planning.
Mm.
And then they will I actually learned one very important lesson recently from one of my mentor. Nothing, if you don't schedule, anything that gets scheduled get done.
Mm.
Everybody is busy, and that busy is become a very good excuse of not uh achieving certain things. And that's because we always never get it scheduled inside the calendar.
Mm.
And once you schedule it, you will appear and you will turn up, no matter how busy you are, and things get done. How well it is done is another different story that we can improve.
Mm-hmm.
But at least things get done and it will not be procrastinate. And then because your calendar there's only 24 hours, there's so much that you can schedule. If you actually schedule it already, then when you want it's too full already, then you will start to prioritize what is more important and you'll schedule it first. And once you spend a bit of time into the planning and scheduling, and the rest is quite easy. Just do it. And when time comes, you just do this, and then you'll be surprised that after a year you can achieve a lot of things.
Mm.
Just improve 1% a day is 365% after a year. And everybody knows that, but it's whether we can commit to just improving 1% consistently.
Mm.
And start with maybe a 30-day or a week or a 30-day challenge of 1%. And once you can see that, actually, after 30 days or after 7 days, in fact,
Yep.
you can see the progress already. Then commit to a month, then to a quarter. Then after a while, then it become your second nature. It become a habit, and then it's easier to actually do that. Waking up 3:30 in the morning, 4 o'clock is very, very difficult for me in the past.
Mm.
But
Mm.
after doing that for 6-7 months, it's already a second nature. And then we're so tired. My mind is always telling me it's very tired. I need a nap after that. But after you get used to it and you find that actually you don't really need a 1-2 hour sleep in between. Maybe a 10-minute break, rest or nap. Then you can actually function as normal.
Mm. Mm.
After doing it for so many 6-7 months, and then you suddenly become you have more time,
Mm.
and with more time, of course, you can achieve a lot more things. Right? So it's getting it into your muscle memory, becoming a habit and second nature. And you at least need 21 days to get used to a certain habit. And that some of them even tell me you need at least 6 months to build a certain habit before you don't have to think so much about it, and you get it going. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Good. Yeah. So with this in mind, what would be one key takeaway for parents
I would
from your sharing?
say parents, okay, so do not treat sport as sports.
Mm.
Treat sports as what are the I think what we can give the kids is actually something that they can go really far is character building.
Mm.
Because the character will bring them and decide how far they can move on in life and in school.
Mm.
So don't only look at the academic results,
Mm-hmm.
because it's only a number, or A, B, C, or 90 marks, 100 marks. It's only a number. Nobody asks for your report book once you started working, or you started your own business or you started working. Nobody cares how many A's you really get. It's what are the attitude and what is the how you treat everything that decide your end results. So the academic result is only a number. It's only a stepping stone for them to get started. So don't treat, how is to say, it's the process that how you get there that they learn it, and then they build a strong character who have the grit. I think I like this word called grit. Who never give up that easily, will serve them very far in this challenging and uncertain days ahead. Yep. So I would say key takeaway is using sports to have grit, to train their character and make sure that they have grit and not to give up things easily. Alright, this is my nice son. Say hello to everybody.
Hello, hello, Mr. Handsome.
Hello, Mr. Handsome. This is Coach John. Say, Coach John.
Coco John.
Coco John.
No lah, cannot tell lies. Not tell lies.
Okay, I think can you go out for a while? Okay, thank you.
Very cute, huh?
Yeah, he usually come in and he want to talk to the people who talk to Zoom with me.
Okay, I think we are come to the end, and thanks for sharing. Yeah, so if parents want to get in touch with you, how can they reach you?
Okay, they can actually reach us at www.fishlight.net, or they can actually send an email to us at admin@fishlight.net, or they can give us a call at 6583-3031. So these are the three ways that they can actually get in touch with us. Or they can go up to facebook.com/freestyle mastery. That's our official Facebook page. Or you can get in touch with John, and John can connect us easily.
Sure, thanks. Okay, so that's how you can get in touch with Fish Tang. Okay, so I want to ask you one last question. It's something that I always check in with my guests. Yeah. Okay. So as you know, we help a Facebook group of parents who teach their children primary school maths. Yeah. So if I can invite you to walk back to your younger self, the 12-year-old Fish Tang. Yeah. So when you meet the 12-year-old Fish Tang, he got so close to you that you can almost touch him, and he's looking at you in the eyes. What will you tell him? There's no wrong or right, can be anything. And why 12-year-old? Because to most Singaporean kids, if not all, there's a year of PSLE, and it's a big thing to many kids then. Yeah. So what will you tell yourself?
I would say pursue your dreams. Go out and pursue your dreams, because you can only achieve it. You can only stay at 20 once. It's hard to go back to the. Yes. Okay, give me a minute. Sorry, give me a minute.
It's okay.
Yeah. So, okay. So I would say a lot of people will just study and go to the subject they think that there is potential in the career that will help them to do a better job. Something that they like to do, and something there's a market for it. Right? So they will the parents will say, you got future when you study this, but there's not much future when you study the other thing. And I would say go to where you think that pursue your dreams, and then go all out to go and achieve your dreams, and look for a role model. I think look for a mentor or a role model. That is the fastest way to be able to be successful in that particular field and yet do the things that you like. Because these two things that is always fighting.
Mm-hmm.
Things that you like to do, the dreams, but they can't give you the bread and butter.
Mm-hmm.
So is there someone, it might not be in Singapore, that can actually achieve pretty good things and they can monetize it comfortably with the things that they do so well with that, and learn from them, right? Because that's the only way to actually fast track your journey, doing things that you like and yet it can give you a pretty decent career or business.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there on, then you start to innovate from there and bring it to the next level. So pursue your dreams and look for a mentor or role model that you wanted to achieve in your dreams, and then just learn from him.
Okay, let me push a bit. What will you tell your 12-year-old about PSLE?
PSLE.
Yeah,
That's
what
a
will you
very
tell
long
him?
time ago. I was seriously, I would say just if you've done your job and done your preparation, there's nothing. It's just another exam. So to me, maybe to me I don't really treat academic that as the do or die tough examinations.
Mm-hmm.
If you're done your practicing your PSA, you're done, you listen in class, you do your homework. It's just another exam, seriously. I look back at when my PSLE, I think I slept at 8:30.
Mm-hmm.
I still get 3A, 1B. And I ended up with a not fantastic school, but I still got a 2, 3, 4 in my aggregate. And without really studying that last couple of days. I've been doing my homework. I finished all my homework, and then whatever I need to do, then my mom keep asking me to go and study, and I don't really like it, so I slept early. And then in the end, it all turns out quite all right. I still get an A in my math without burning midnight oil. And so it's just another exam, seriously. As long as you've done your job before that, there's nothing really much that you can do if you never do your job before that. Right? I'm sure if you study with work with John, he's done all the necessary preparation. I think he wouldn't leave all the preparation to the last minute, right? Because last minute there's almost not much that you can do with a day before the PSLE. Correct me if I'm wrong. There's not a lot of things that you can really do in the last minute.
It's like swimming in open water. I mean, we do not just do it because the next day we are going into open sea. The preparation must be done like years ahead, or at least months ahead.
Yep. So you have done all your work and all that, and just enjoy the process on the day. I mean, it's like a lot of people say, what you going to take note on the race day, especially the triathletes who are first time doing their own triathlon, first triathlon. I say timing is not important on the first triathlon, seriously, because it's not going to be your first and last one. Enjoy the process. You've done all your hard work, and then just trust your muscle memory and trust your hard work. They will take you work and enjoy the whole process. That's to me, I think. Yeah.
Great. Thanks for sharing, Tang. Yeah, so I hope everything will be smooth for you. Yeah.
Yep, things are getting better, and yep. And it's also a wake-up call when challenging times come, and you start to know that what are the things that you should prepare for the next pandemic. And I think this is not the first and last one. I'm sure there's a lot more that is coming. And according to one of my mentors, that there will be another one that's coming soon in December. So yeah, with that, I think we can actually start to prepare and learn, take lessons from life is throwing to us, and then you can actually overcome a lot more challenges along the way.
Okay, great. Okay, thanks so much for your time. Yeah. So please help me say hi and bye to your kid.
Yeah. Okay. And thanks for inviting me for this interview. Yep.
hopefully the sharing will be useful to the parents, and then hopefully the parents don't only don't be so just academic. I think developing the kids all around is a lot more better, and with open water swimming or sports, they must take out a sport, and because when they actually been able to, I would strongly suggest parents to let their kids take up a competitive sport, because with that they really train discipline and then consistency and all that, and furthermore it gets their health better, because as they train they get their health better, and then they can actually concentrate better and focus better, and they know what they, because the same process of what they needed, the ingredients that's needed to achieve well in sports is the same process they apply into their studies.
Great. Thanks so much. Yeah.
Thank you.
So we'll keep in touch, okay?
Thank you. Yep.
Okay, thanks.
Bye. See you. Bye.
Bye.